Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Good afternoon. How are you all?
I am doing okay.
Hi, Ellen. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Let's see. Well, we will give stragglers, an obligatory minute and a half. I don't know what the standard is. So, yes. All right, sorry about that, you guys. Okay, I think there's no reason to prolong things. So, I am our chairman is not attending today's meeting, so Mike has generously agreed to serve as our chair to conduct today's meeting. So, Mike, I will pass it off to you.
I will do my best. Try to keep me on track. All right, so we can call the meeting to order. And there's only one item on the agenda, which is the site plan review for Tim Hortons on Washington Street. I'm not sure who would like to talk about that.
Blake, do you want to start us off with
the
introduction?
Yeah, right now on the line is Kevin. Kevin is from MS. I believe, Kevin, do you have anybody else with you? I'm sorry. Melissa.
Correct.
So Kevin and Melissa are from MS. They are the people, they are consultants. This is a prototype for Tim Hortons. It'll be the first in the nation. So they are the ones that will go through everything. And if you have any questions, either they can answer them or I can answer anything they can't.
Great, thanks, Blake. So Kevin, Melissa, is there anything you need from me technology-wise to set you up, or do you have what you need?
I think we should have what we need. I can see Kevin is dropping and rejoining. Are you good, Kevin?
I'm back. Yeah. I don't know
All
what
right.
happened.
All right. I don't know if you missed Blake's introduction, but do you want to share your screen, Kevin, to start and show the site plan?
I can do that. Yeah, Ellen, if you don't mind, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. If you could just allow that.
There we go. Are you in?
I'm in.
Okay.
So just to give a quick introduction, I missed Blake's, but I'm Kevin Drozen, MS Consultants Project Manager for this project. And then Melissa Ratterman is our architectural technical service manager, who's our technical lead on this project. So I just start with the Google Earth site plan to show the location of where we're at. This is the site just south of
Yay, technology.
the 1, 2, if you want to call it 3 driveways, existing driveways. And we will be utilizing a single driveway, the northernmost one, for the access to this site. So I will share site plan if it wants to come up. There it is. Okay, so this is our existing conditions plan, 0.61 acre site with the 3 light posts and open ditch in the back. The proposed store is an 888 square foot drive-through only restaurant. There will be some patio seating out front on the Washington Street side. We will have double drive-throughs. 2 menu boards that lead into a single service window. And we will also have a bypass lane that comes around the perimeter of the site and also provides for dumpster pickup for the trash. Like I mentioned on the aerial image, we've got this existing driveway, which we will utilize. The other 2 will be closed off based on the redevelopment. We will provide an ADA space, a loading space here, and new site light poles, which are called out with keynote 15. Jumping to the grading plan, drainage plan, we will be carrying all runoff from the site back towards that open ditch on the back side. That was discussed during the pre-application meeting. That would be the preferred method of doing so. So we will not have any storm structures on the site. It will all just sheet flow off of the site. Utility plan, we've got connections to the water line along Washington Street, the sanitary line along Washington Street, and then we'll provide our electric service line, which right now we have as an overhead electric to this existing pole on the other side of Washington Street. Grease interceptor will be provided, and gas service as well, connecting to the 4-inch along Washington Street. And then we've got the landscape plan, which we'll be providing perimeter landscaping on the northern side of the site. There is an existing fence on that side. We'll be putting a new wooden fence on the south side of the parcel, and then just some trees throughout the site to add some landscaping within these islands, and again on the western side of the site here. There's a proposed sign which also has landscaping provided around the base, and looks like a tree here in front too. And that was it from the site summary. Were there any questions as far as the site plan goes before I give it to Melissa? Oh, I guess I should say, sorry about this, that one of the reasons that we are meeting today too is to propose this variance for the parking setback. The required setback is 10 feet. We are providing 5. The reason for this request is so that we could provide that bypass lane around the perimeter of the site. If we were to provide the 10, you can see where the 10-foot setback would come in. There just would not be enough space for that bypass lane to be included. We think this is a good safety feature to have the bypass lane, and also again for the garbage pickup so that it can go around the site without impacting customer traffic. And yes, we will be utilizing that existing driveway. So we originally had this driveway being moved, but that one has now changed as well. So sorry, with that last clarification, any questions on the site plan?
It's not a question on the plan itself, Kevin, but I'm just wondering, and if I'm jumping ahead to what Melissa may be going to be providing, I didn't know if there was a rendering of anything.
I'll be presenting that.
Okay. I guess I do have another question, but I'm gonna hold off just in let Melissa.
Sure. Sounds good, Ellen.
Side of things. Thanks.
Melissa, all you.
All right. Could you, it says I'm disabled from sharing.
Oh, huh. All right, let me try this again. Are you in?
Still says I'm disabled.
How about now?
I can share.
Okay.
All right. I will start by walking you through the floor plan here, and then the next page we'll jump right into the rendering. So on the floor plan, it's about 878 square foot building. The front of the building this is a drive-through only building. The front of the building right here, you'll have a walk-up window. This entire area here is for the kitchen. And then cooler and freezer we'll have, back here. And a single occupancy restroom in the back for employees only. That's not for public use, with the door going out the back through the utility area. That's the basics of the floor plan. Jump into the rendering. So here we'll talk about the exterior materials a little bit. The majority of the building is going to be, it's a James Hardie, it's a board and batten look. You can see that with the slate gray materials here, and then as well as the white running along the bottom. I'll show you a couple other angles of this as well as I go. But here you'll see the drive-through window, a little canopy over the top of it. There's a light band going around the entire building perimeter. Walk-up window here in the front. This material up here it's an extruded aluminum siding that it's called knotwood. It looks like it's a wood veneer. It's a extruded aluminum siding. Next view, we'll show you the other side. So similar in appearance with that James Hardie board and batten wrapping the corner, the light band carrying through, and you'll see that slate gray board and batten look on the side as well. And then the rear, just the board and batten look. Some chevron painted stripes along the side. Any questions on the elevations or any of the materials used?
Melissa, I have a question. If this is, I don't know if this is supposed to be self-evident. The renderings don't include the bypass lane, right?
Correct. These are generic renderings just for the building materials.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, this rendering is not site specific.
And again, sorry if this is a stupid question.
No, you're fine.
Is the chevron something related to the Hortons brand, or is that something new that they're? I'm just curious from a design standpoint.
It is not. It's an added effect. We're trying to achieve. You see how like it kind of ripples down the facade with that board and batten look, just to like show a little bit more depth, something that catches your eye.
Gotcha.
So will there be, I guess I would recommend bike racks out front too somewhere, because you are close to that, the Riverwalk, and a lot of people bike there, and it would be nice to ride up there and park your bike and get coffee.
That's something that if we could add those, I could just go to the jock shop or whatever. I can grab bike racks.
But yeah, it looks really sharp. It's a good design.
Thanks. It'll be the first one. So
I do have a question about the projected stacking. And I think that the projected stacking was 18. Does that sound right?
I think it's in the 20s.
We've got 19.
19, okay.
I mean, that goes behind some of the parking spaces that are provided.
Okay,
But yeah, it's 19. We tried to fit as much as we could in the dual
Right.
drive-throughs and expanded that dual drive-through lane as
Right.
early as possible.
I was just curious if there was any exploration in terms of the environmental effects of that stacking, in terms of some analysis of CO2 emissions from that many cars. I don't know if there's a CO2 calculator for idling stacked cars. If that
There was
anything that
not.
explored.
I'm unfamiliar with that too. I
Okay.
don't think I've ever been asked that. I mean, it's a good question to ask, but I do not have the answer.
And was the 1819 stacking based on a traffic study or usage study of the existing locations, Blake, in terms of what the ideal stacking amount would be?
Realistically, we always try to just get the stack as high as we can.
Okay.
And I could tell you that when we built Foot Avenue, the original stack was 13. They made us make it 14. That was the state. And obviously this one, we even added more by being able to put that double drive-through in. So, with 19 cars, I mean, that's a lot of cars into the stack. So
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and, we've always, this is, we've come to these before, and I've said to MS, I've said all of them, that's going to be one of the first questions we're asked every time is about the stacking. So we want to make sure that we get as many cars on this lot as we can before, obviously we don't want to impede on the road. So.
Right. I mean, certainly stacking as many cars as possible serves a very specific purpose for both conducting business, but also in terms of safety on the road. I do have some concerns about maximizing stacking. I guess there's no state regulation on stacking, again, in terms of the relationship to CO2 emissions and car idling. That's just an area I'm a little concerned about.
Yeah, I can tell you, I usually go to the North Main Street, Tim Hortons, which is closest to this, and I've never seen 18 or 19 cars there. So I would assume this is going to be pulling from that location as well.
Okay.
Ellen, just to add some clarification to the trip generation for this too, we had a trip generation report put together, and just based on the ITE trip generation manual, the coffee donut shop with drive-through window, we've got an AM peak of 50 cars in during the AM peak peak hour, and then 50 out. So if you're looking at a peak of 50 cars in the morning hour, then they shouldn't all be there at the same time.
Hopefully.
Well, I guess looking at it from just a percentage standpoint, I mean, yeah, the 19,
Right.
I would think you would not see 19 in the stacking.
And what's
But
on the?
I cannot guarantee it. Maybe this drive-through is real popular.
Don't quote you on it, right?
No, they probably want as many in the
Got that
stack
right.
as they can get.
Right.
Oh, right. And that's why we provide the loop
Right.
around
Yeah.
the
You
loop around the
said
building.
you said it came up at about 50 in that peak hour.
That's what the ITE trip generation manual says is 50 in the peak hour, 50 out. And then in the PM, 17 in and 17 out.
So that comes out to a little bit more than 4 cars every 5 minutes. I mean, not that people travel in 5-minute increments, but just in terms of trying to get get my head around kind of what that can look like in an hour. Hopefully, again, if they don't all show up at the same time. So over that hour.
One of the Tim Hortons requirements is that they have 5 cars stacked between the pickup window and the menu boards, for service timing and everything. So we provide those 5 and then as many as we can in the stack.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any
understand.
residential houses, dwellings right next to it? It's just there's no one living right anywhere around it.
No, this is an empty lot. Otherwise, where the DPW is going to be moving part of their garage to some of the adjacent sites. So it's kind of a blank slate, right, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing right next to it is Gerton's.
Okay.
But then to the left is going to be all the DPW and where they're moving their property. So
behind its park, so.
Oh, hi, Jeff.
Hi. Be a welcome addition.
we're hoping so.
Yeah, the DPW guys will be there quite a bit.
Yeah.
I hope so. That's what we're banking on. So
Does anyone else have any comments or questions?
I'm curious how many employees are going to be there.
I didn't know him when I came here.
Well, that's why they did an introduction today. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How many employees do you feel will be there at the maximum, like the peak time?
So the positive thing about this building, with it being an 880, is that we're able to really run it a lot more efficiently than other stores. Just because of the drive-through only and the way the building is set up. I would say peak hours, we're going to have 5 or maybe 6 people on the staff total at our peak time. So, overall, it's probably going to be a 15 to 20 person team roster at that location.
Yeah, just looking at the number of parking spaces, kind of curious the number of employees that'll be there, and then how many people can drive up if they're going to walk up to the window or.
Right. Yeah, I would say at max, we would never have more than 5 people working.
A shift change, you might have a couple more coming in or something like that.
Hey, Kevin, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like especially in the afternoon. I mean, I would say if we had 5, that would be at like 7 a.m. By 11, 12 o'clock, we'll probably be down to 3 employees, let alone, so anything else. I mean, it'll be a very efficient store. The only store model that kind of is like this in the country right now is in Columbus, and they actually run the store completely on 2 people.
Wow.
That's not enough for us, I don't think, but
And I have a question about the walk-up service. Will there be a marked walkway across the exit lane, maybe with a yield sign to protect the pedestrians that might be actually walking up there?
Crosswalk where, Brent?
In the front of the building towards the sidewalk, just so people can get into the restaurant safely, same for the employees. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of employees who are going to be walking to work there.
Are you talking like right here from the parking area?
There or towards the street more. I mean, you're probably going to need something towards the street, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have the site plan open.
You're talking about coming off of the sidewalk onto the site or into.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah. Just so there can be a safe entryway for the people to walk there. And
Maybe
a yield
something like that, Brent.
Yeah, and like a yield sign for pedestrians. Because I know there's gonna be a lot of traffic there, so it's gonna be safe for the people.
And then we could, consider putting a little curb cut here as well and tying that to the existing sidewalk.
right.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I wouldn't put it over here because there's nothing to connect to, but something like this would make sense.
Shortest route, yeah.
Yep.
Kevin or Blake, do you have any knee-jerk reaction as to where the bike racks might be best located?
If you were really gonna put them, I would almost say in the back of the building, probably almost like where that number 3 logo is there on that side of the building or behind it. I don't know if Kevin has any other suggestions.
My screen is frozen, so I wasn't able to draw anything. I would almost, yeah, off the back of the building might work. I would almost propose curbing that striped island to the northeast of the building. If you wanted to put like some additional concrete, here we go, back in action. Maybe something like over here, and you could provide, the added. I guess there'd be some modifications here to this grass strip. Maybe this comes out this far, and then that would be your grass strip, and then this could all be concrete in here to put a bike rack on.
Cars would be, bikes would be,
They would appreciate it or they
they
would?
would, because they're within vision
Yeah,
as compared to putting it out back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Couldn't help but
Had to
react.
unmute us.
Yeah. It could be kind of a nice addition down there. It's
Mhm.
amazing how much business is disappearing off Washington Street.
They're gonna change
If we curbed all of this, I would almost propose, say if that was all curb, we could propose this as extra pavement, and then, the rest of it be grass. Possibly.
just a knee-jerk reaction, so.
Do you have any details about the sign that's going to be down by Washington Street there by the road?
Melissa, do you have those handy as far as the signage types?
Yeah, I can see if I can find it quickly.
So I just got an email about it, so
Do you have a shop drawing, Blake?
let me pull it up real quick. Hold on.
Do we need him looking at this?
Yeah,
Man, it's
yeah.
I have it, Blake, if you want.
1 second, right here. I got it. So what they're proposing is this is like what the sign would be right here on the bottom here. That would just be on both sides of the street there. Just be a sign, kind of like the one on Foot Avenue right now.
And what are the dimensions on that? I can't see the small print there.
It is.
So it's 6 by 10.
Yeah, 6 to the top, 1 foot wide and 10 foot long.
As far as we know, that meets the current zoning law there.
That is a Larry question, and we haven't reviewed signage yet for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a lighted sign as well.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Customer assistance and paint, please.
Mike is multitasking.
Yeah. Will there be security cameras outside?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else have any other questions? No? All right. So we just need a motion to approve the site plan?
Oh, we're just doing an introduction today. Sorry,
We're
Mike,
just
we're
doing an
not voting today. And I don't
Okay.
even think do we have a quorum? Yeah, so we will otherwise take today's comments, questions for the project team so that ostensibly by our June meeting, we'll have a voting session for it.
Mike and Ellen, I guess what is the next step here? Or are we going to be receiving comments? And when can we expect to receive comments? Obviously, there's going to be some back and forth with resubmittals or stuff like that.
Right. I mean, that can start immediately. So I mean, I can forward you the comments that have been made here and forward those along to you. And as far as Planning Commission goes, it would just be addressing those things for a forwarding for an approval at the next session. That will, excuse me, I believe the June meeting should take place after the zoning meeting about the variance. And so by that time, again, regardless of the sequence, Planning Commission's approval would also need to be contingent upon zoning board approval. And so assuming that everything goes through with zoning board, it'll go through Planning Commission with the variance already approved, but that's for the zoning board to address.
Customer carried out upfront 6 bags of brown mulch, 1 bag topsoil.
Sorry, guys.
That's what I need.
The zoning board, if I remember the dates correctly, is June 1st, I think. Is that something we need to make a presentation at, or is that just a staff level approval?
I believe a presentation, if it's not required, it's certainly encouraged.
Okay. Is that something we can attend virtually like this, or would you need an in-person app?
That'll be a Larry question, and I will address him with that, so he can interface with the zoning board members as to what they feel like their needs are going to be for that.
Okay. Melissa, did you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
Does anyone else have any other questions or anything?
I guess I'll just leave with the comment that hopefully we'll be back here in a month with the variance approved, and we can move forward with commission voting.
All right.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you,
And
everybody.
then, sorry, one more question. At that plan commission meeting, that's going to be final approval. There is no city council. There's no other approvals necessary.
Correct.
You can get a building permit the next day.
Okay. Sounds great.
Put it up.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.